Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal here with Long Beach Lenny and Colonel Bucky. Folks, this segment, actually today's show, is brought to you by Black Diamond PR Firm, representing actors, athletes, authors, musicians, and small business since 2007. Everything you do is public relations. Black Diamond PR Firm, we are your people. Visit them at blackdiamondfirm.com or call 877-256-3075. 877-256-3075. Again, their website is blackdiamondfirm.com. All right, and a big welcome to everybody listening in on our NBC affiliates from coast to coast. SB Nation right here in fabulous Las Vegas on Las Vegas Boulevard, KMZQ 670 The Score. And a big hello to all of our listeners on iHeartRadio, as well as Oceanic Time Warner Cable through KPHI 96.7 FM and 1130 AM over throughout the Hawaiian Islands. All right.
Beautiful.
All right. So hey, Lenny, we had a lot going on over the weekend, but I also understand we're gonna lead in with something on the golfing world for all those people that are driving home from work right now, saying, I'd rather just go play a round of golf, or would they?
Or would they, Sal? Would they rather play a round of golf? Now we know there's a lot of detail that goes into golf, Sal. There's a lot. There's the elements. There's grass. There's the elements.
32. There's 32 different things.
Of course there is.
There's stuff going on there. Well, let's look at this. How about this story over the weekend? Pro golfer Scott McCarron, recognized worldwide, received a one-stroke penalty for accidentally dropping the club that moved his ball. But yes, here at the Sports Circus, we are gladly going to overlook this and represent McCarron free of charge, as we have discovered now that this is one of the 32 things that our producer, Colonel Bucky, notes that is required in the game of golf.
Yes.
Dropping the club and moving the ball, it's somewhere in between 22 and 26, Sal, I believe.
It is on the list. See, there are things that you can't even think of at the time.
He only came up with a list of 16.
No,
I threw a couple of more out there, which got him to 18.
I've got like 24 or something like that, so I think that's number 25. We are getting there.
I don't know.
Well on our way.
And then he went beyond the call of duty, and then he broke his golf club. He was so pissed at the penalty stroke, he went and broke a club.
He didn't throw it in the water or anything. He just broke it.
And that's a lot easier. That you consider that, okay? Yeah, he would have to break a club, because you remember the old Bo Jackson just breaking it over his knee or his head?
Yeah.
How hard could it be to break a golf club, really? If you're going to get mad. Now, I love it. I love it, though, when they throw it into the lake.
Yes.
Like a crocodile.
Hey, listen, my favorite throwing episode was from Caddyshack, when Judge Smales threw it about 100 yards and it hit the cafe.
I've played golf with the guy who threw it into the water. He did fish it out. Why would he do
that? Then he's got to go chase it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's what happens at golf.
Right.
You hit the ball a country mile, then you got to go drive after it. Right? And then you do it again. And then again.
Now, the thing about the golf club, dropping the golf club, are we serious now? Are we seriously going to penalize the guy one stroke because he's over here talking to his caddy or whatever, and then the golf club just slips out of his hand and it hits the ball? Ooh! One-stroke penalty. What do they got? Do they have some, or golf police, club police, and the
nerd police? He says the nerd police. Let's go with the nerd police. We like that.
The thing about golf, though, is it really tells a lot about a person's character, because not everybody counts every single score, and that's part of it right there. So if you fudge a little bit on a lie, what harm is it going to be? You're just setting it up there.
So you're saying it's okay to lie and it's okay to cheat.
I'm not saying that. I'm being sarcastic here. Okay? I am not saying that, because you cannot let little things go like that, because little things become big things, and that's why golf is a gentleman's game, gentlemen.
Go ahead, Lenny.
Oh, spare me that, Buck. It's a gentleman's game like that. You know that it's not. Okay, do we think of John Daly? Do we say that? Oh, he's the quintessential perfection of of being a gentleman.
John Daly is not the rule. He is the exception.
Okay.
John
And do we look at Tiger right now in his situation? Is he being a gentleman? Hardly.
well,
Tiger Woods is hardly a gentleman. Okay, so let's not say that this is a quintessential sport of gentlemen. It is not. Maybe back in the day, it is different now. And then when you say this is ridiculous, when you say, oh, they can cheat on their score. How about that? They've got 5,000-6,000 fans watching them. They've got cameras watching them. They've got their opponent watching them. They probably have some Goodyear blimps spying on them as well, and they're going to cheat on a card, and they're going to get away with it, Buck. Are they really? Think about that logically. Please give me an answer.
Well, the answer to that. No, but the logical answer to that is yes. Not everybody is going to watch every stroke, every player, because a lot of times these guys get out there at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's no TV cameras out there. There's hardly any gallery. It's just you and your caddy. You're out there just doing your thing, and if you look around and you say, hey, nobody will see if I really stick this up on the grass so I can get a better hit. That's wrong. You can't do that. So you cannot even think about encouraging people of moving their ball in any way. It's a good rule, especially since one stroke can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars at that level.
Excellent.
Well, look, come on. Okay, I'm going to be teaching a word now to the Raider fans because I had a Raider fan ask me what this word meant. They go, Lenny, what does the word ravenous mean? I heard the word ravenous. What does that mean? I said, that means, Raider fan, that you are absolutely so hungry that you would eat your own brother's arm, okay? You're that hungry. And Colonel, these golf fans are so locked in. They are so locked into the sport that you cannot say, well, Lenny, not everybody's watching it. Yes, they are, because that's their guy. That is their golf.
Look what one day off does.
I know. You
drop a quarter on him, and it's all over.
He's all rejuvenated here. Well,
by the way, I hope Bo's team won on Friday.
Oh man, we won. He got one sack. Drove that dude into the turf. I loved it.
Nice.
Nice. Bo.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
That's for Fearless Bo. But as far as cheating at golf, I mean, you cannot improve your lie. If you move it just a little bit, that would be cheating.
It's funny. It's funny you say that. You can't improve your lie. I mean, how many guys listening to this are saying, "How do I improve my lie?" Saying that I didn't go to the bar and have drinks.
No.
To the girl.
I'm talking about your lie on the golf course. You're in thick grass.
Yeah, but the average person doesn't know what you're saying.
Okay.
The Raider fans certainly don't know what that means.
Okay, let me spell it out. Okay, you have thick grass and you have short grass. It's easier to hit the ball on the shorter grass or the fairway.
I get all that.
Than the thicker grass, which is called the rough.
I get that, but remember who our audience is. Remember, there are some Raider fans listening, and the Raider. When you're saying improve the lie,
okay, that's what I mean. Let's say that
they're thinking Judge Wapner's or Judge Judy's going to come into this picture somewhere.
Okay, let's say you're right on the borderline of the heavy grass and the thin grass. Okay, and you move that ball 1 inch over to where it's easier to hit the ball, the shorter grass. That is improving your lie. You can't do that. You only moved it 1 inch, and you didn't even move it.
But you cheated!
But you didn't even move it forward 1 inch. You moved it 1 inch. You can't do that.
Wait, Colonel, what do we have?
You got 20.
20 seconds.
Okay. So just look at our Raider audience. They're coming up. They're saying, okay, listen in closely because they're telling me how to improve my lie when I have thick grass on me. All right, we're ready to go.
Like a grass skirt.
Like smoking a fatty of grass. Look at that.
All right, folks, listen, we're going to be back here in a few minutes. Folks, don't go anywhere. We got some NFL talk coming up. Be right back.
The sports world. It's a circus.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas.
Score, put the ball down, give it to the referee. You know, and I don't even care if you slam it down, but you don't have to dance. You don't have to call your mom on the phone. You don't have to go
The Sports Circus is a 1-hour primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC News, and CNBC radio affiliates, plus Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, WOW cable TV affiliates across North America and nationwide in upscale hotels and resorts on hotel television in all 210 Nielsen-rated markets.
Just like a circus.
My life is just a party, and parties weren't meant to last. Dickerson.
Jason Hook Zarbler from Five Finger Death Punch.
Sidney Justin from The Miracles.
My name is Curtis Blow. Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. I'm here on the Sports Circus.
The Sports Circus brings top sports and entertainment content and is delivered fully produced and is easy pass-through traffic for radio stations. Simply drop the program in your traffic manager. The full 59-minute, 50-second file will coordinate with the clock. Your local station receives up to 4 minutes of local avails during the Sports Circus broadcast, and it's a great lead to live sports and entertainment.
Well, if you're going to talk about our congressman being crooked, why not talk about commercial products who don't do what they represent to do?
Yes!
Big Billy here. He certainly knows something about making things difficult on the competition.
He's a punisher. Yeah, he just break the ribs.
Yeah,
I still haven't broke someone's collarbone yet in a boxing match.
That's a great statement. I have not broke someone's collarbone in the ring yet.
I've never heard that before.
I can't
Is
wait.
there a reason you said in the ring?
I can't wait.
Is it that you've broken collarbones just outside of the ring? You did catch that, right? He said in the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
So
He got him on the curtain. He got him on the edge of the ring and broke his collarbone.
Hey, this is Tommy John, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
I had to get Sal's name right.
Well, Sal the floor sweeper.
That's his new name.
Sal the bookkeeper. Hey,
Yeah,
you know
but
what?
even my name, even my last name.
Add that one to the bank, you know?
But no, Alicia, you even got my last name wrong. That's why I said my
I know it
colon
starts
was
with a
bleeding.
V. It starts with a V.
He said a V. Really? Quick, where's the punch sound? 400 punches.
Here's the punch sound.
Right, exactly. Look, he almost knocked out the microphone.
Alicia, that's why they have cue cards, right? So don't let the name bother you. Just bring a cue card with you next
But
time.
people can't read my name off a cue card.
Well, change your name to Joe Smith or something. Jeez, make it easy.
This is Sal Tuzzolino, host and ringmaster of the Sports Circus. Why listen to the same old dog and pony show that you've heard all day long? The Sports Circus covers everything that other shows don't or are too scared to cover. There's no primetime show like it on air that'll punch you in the mouth and you'll beg for more. Also, you could call in and participate with our chaos if you dare. Join me and celebrity guests for Havoc and Mayhem. Remember, folks, it's a circus, and we prove it every day.
I want to try to instill some of this winning environment for this particular team. What's been your experience? Kevin, we're going to start with you. What was your experience going from Team A to Team B and bringing that Super Bowl experience to the next team?
You know, they were kind of getting on me, wanting me to chill out a little bit, not play a game on a Wednesday and Thursday. But I always felt that, you got to play at game day speed on Wednesday and Thursday so that you're instinctive and you can play on game day speed on game day.
The Sports Circus is received well on all radio formats and is currently aired on sports, news, and music stations.
Andre Reed.
Mario Andretti.
Herschel Walker.
Lloyd Firestone. Mike Haynes.
Jim Jeffcoat.
Rod Jaworski.
Al Bubba Baker.
Brett Saberhagen.
It's a circus, and we prove it every day.
Aaron Fink. Breaking Benjamin. Jason Hartlett. Drummer for rock legend Ted Nugent.
Matt Starr, drummer for Ace Frehley from Kiss.
Phil Buckman, the bass player in the rock band Fuel.
Hey, brother.
Hey, we know quality content is hard to find, so if you're ready to have the Sports Circus in your market, give us a call right now at 714-948-0100. That's 714-948-0100, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Certainly.
Don't you give me none of your back talk.
Hello, Jack McDowell here, Black Jack McDowell, and you're watching the Sports Circus, which is totally cool. So you have a great time watching. Have some fun.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, here with Long Beach Lenny and Colonel Bucky. This segment is brought to you by the American Business Trust Company, specializing in startup consulting, sales and marketing, corporate strategy, and investment capital. Visit them at abtrustco.com or call 657-600-1876. That's 657-600-1876 for all your business needs. The American Business Trust Company. Hurry up, give them a call. All right, hey, Lenny, let's finish up a little bit with Bucky's golfing nonsense, just because we can. Then let's jump into a little bit of NFL.
So, anytime that we're talking golf, what scene do we actually think of, Sal? Go Caddyshack with me. The Cinderella story. What is he on, Bucky? What hole is he on? Is he on the last
Tears
hole?
in his eyes.
I think he's on. He's playing Pebble Beach.
I don't know.
I think he is in that scene.
I don't know.
We have to find out. If I'm thinking Augusta.
Yeah, he's at Augusta. He's at Augusta.
Yeah, maybe he is at
Augusta. It was
Augusta.
Augusta.
Pebble Beach still. I'd take Pebble Beach over
becomes
Augusta.
The Masters champion. You know,
Right.
that is the that's
Right,
what I
hitting the
think
big
of.
flowers. Oh, yeah. There's a good one. It's in a hole. It's in a hole. Remember that? That was ridiculous.
And then he would go and hit another one. What were they? Flowers.
But it was more fun watching him when he was watching the older ladies that were teeing off in front of him or putting in front of him.
Yeah.
Remember that? He was,
I do.
Why did you wash my ball? It's ridiculous.
I like it where the guy out there is having his last, the best round of his life.
Oh, right. We get struck by lightning?
In a driving rainstorm, and then he gets struck by lightning and dies right at the end.
Did he die?
They never really
that was pretty funny, though.
Settled that.
I liked it. I've seen that. I don't really play golf, but I've seen that film probably 100 times. I think I almost know it word for word.
It's a classic.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Well, that's the great thing about it is because we can use that video as the evidence of the 32 things that Bucky always says, because he does everything. And he's describing, he's like, grabbing the club, approaching the ball. You know, he's talking about everything that he does.
Yes.
So we need to just simply get a list, just get a blank piece of paper, and just go bada bing, 1, 2, 3, and then when we get to about 14, we're gonna have to turn it over to Buck and say, well, where's the rest of it? Where's the other 22?
I don't know. I think those movements are when Rodney hits the ball, all his crazy herky-jerky movements and whatnot. That's the 32 things wrapped up into 3 seconds.
Guys, I mean, you have to really think when you swing the golf club. All these things are in your mind. Grip the club firm but loose.
I got to tell you, out of all the golf balls I've hit, whether either on a course in the 10 rounds I've played or at the driving range, I've hit thousands of golf balls at a driving range. I don't think about it. You just get up there and you hack at it. That's it.
So that works for some people. Some people.
Otherwise, you're thinking too much. Lenny, isn't it when you're thinking too much, bad stuff happens?
Well, yes, when you're overthinking it, exactly. Hey, I heard a ding on the line here. We got somebody coming on the line here. Who do we got, Sal?
Doug, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, Doug, I'll tell you what. We didn't spoil it for anybody, so I'm going to let you introduce yourself, tell everybody about yourself, and please, this is not a moment where you need to hold back. Go ahead and tell everybody the best things you can.
No, I just want to thank Sal for having the opportunity to be on the show. My name is Doug Plank. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, was always a longtime Steeler fan. Fortunately, was able to get a scholarship to go to Ohio State. Played for a coach, Woody Hayes, who was definitely old school, run the football, smash mouth football, and then was drafted by the Chicago Bears, and I was able to play there for 8 years. And so I really don't have anything to complain about in my life. Football has been a tremendous opportunity for me to meet people and have business opportunities open up. I was a franchisee of a national restaurant company for 20 years, selling hamburgers across the country. And but I'm doing broadcasting now. I work for a couple of different companies in doing both college and professional games. So it still gives me an opportunity to keep close to the sport. For 12 years, I coached starting in the Arena Football League in Scottsdale, Phoenix, Arizona, with Danny White, the former Cowboy quarterback. And later coached at the Falcons, New York Jets, and finished up my career at Ohio State University.
So Doug was known as probably one of the hardest hitters the NFL has ever known. This guy hit, and he hit everything, and he hit it hard, really hard. Hey, Doug, why don't you tell everybody about the correlation between your number and that famous defense?
It's most times, it depends on who you play for. Every coach has a different philosophy on how he wants to teach football. There's still coaches out there that coach with X's and O's, and what I mean by that is they get on a board and they write down different things for linemen, linebackers, defensive backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks. Well, it just so happened the coach that I played for during my middle years with the Chicago Bears was a defense coordinator by the name of Buddy Ryan. And you were either a number or an adjective. And usually the adjective was not a very good adjective. So if you were called a number by Buddy Ryan, that meant he had respect for you. And fortunately for me, he called me 46 a lot. I had blonde hair at the time, and they either called me Blondie or 46. So one day we go in the meeting room, and it was not uncommon for things for him to put in different coverages and blitzes and things like that. And we used to do it week by week. So he would tag certain blitzes with the person that was doing the main blitzing, and he would call it a number. So we had different numbered blitzes, but it wasn't the person that was actually blitzing the quarterback. Well, one day we go into this meeting room, and he has this defense on the board, and it's really a very strange defense because there weren't a lot of linebackers, in the defense where you would assume they would be. Instead of them being like the middle linebacker position or on the weak side, he put the linebackers over top of the tight end, the two linebackers, middle linebacker and outside linebacker, and he had 4 defensive linemen on the line of scrimmage, so we had a 6-man line. So, but instead of, he took one of the linebackers out, brought in another safety. That safety at that time was Jeff Fisher, who later went on and coached several NFL teams. And so I was the middle linebacker. Jeff Fisher was the weak side linebacker. We had Mike Singletary and Otis Wilson. A lot of times they would play on the line of scrimmage as far as the 2 linebackers were concerned. And then we had 3 defensive backs. And everybody still was running the tight end, 2 running backs in the backfield. So this particular attack called the 46 defense because I was the middle linebacker on the defense. And so he just circled my number after he gave everybody's description, said we're going to call this the 46 defense. Nobody really thought much of it because we didn't know whether it was going to last 1 week or 1 year. And it went on. It started getting traction. The first week we played and used it was against Chargers, and Dan Faust was the quarterback at that time. And we completely confused Dan Faust, won the game, surprisingly, and that was the start of the 46 defense.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Nice.
Pretty exciting. So, so Doug, you played, was it 8 years, correct?
Yes.
8 years. Yep. And
I came in at 75.
Yeah, you and Walter Payton came in at the same time.
Yeah, we actually roomed together for a while because they put everybody by alphabetical order. So Plank and Payton, and I just, it was funny talking to Walter, and one of his conversations was he was very frustrated why he didn't win the Heisman Trophy winner as a senior, and he kept asking me because I played with the only 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, Archie Griffin, at Ohio State. And I said, well, I think one thing that contributed to it, Walter, was the fact that Archie went to Ohio State and you went to Jackson State. And my only point was, from a position of being able to market yourself, it's different. I'm sure Jackson State received plenty of attention down south, but Ohio State was able to go to during Archie's time there 4 consecutive Rose Bowls, win 4 Big Ten championships, and I'm sure just being on television, everything is about notoriety and perception, and I'm sure that being so obviously seen by people across the country, that certainly helped him ultimately in the balloting for the Heisman Trophy.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to ask a question. This is Lenny, the co-host here. Thank you for coming on.
Hi, Lenny.
Now, you're listed you were listed at 6 foot and about just over 200 pounds. Am I correct?
Yep. I was 5'11" and 5'8", 3/4, and I weighed 205 pounds.
Okay, now was it a solid linebacking position you played, or did you at all drop back into safety or defensive back coverage, or were you just strictly assigned linebacking duties?
Well, on first and second down, I was the free safety. So, but then if it was third and long, or even second and long, we that's what it started out as. So, I was the middle linebacker. Jeff Fisher. So 2 linebackers went out of the game, and Jeff came in, and I moved up and took the middle linebacker's position. So now we have 3 defensive backs and 2 defensive backs as linebackers. So Jeff and I could drop into pass coverage. We in fact, even dropped sometimes, and we covered half the field, like 2 deep coverage, where the 2 safeties covered the 2 deep areas, and so crazy ideas like that. But here's the bad news: 205 pounds, and even though there weren't a lot of 300-pounders at that time, you're still taking on guys that are 270, 280, 290, pulling on sweeps. And you have to fill holes. And at 200 pounds, you have to choose your hits very carefully. I've replaced 2 shoulders and 2 knees. So, I think I've had over 30 concussions. So I didn't get out of this without some pain and suffering. The closer you get to the line of scrimmage, the more often you're going to get hit. And you just better be prepared to take on someone who's much bigger and stronger than you are.
Right. So, hey, just remember, Doug, everybody was wearing the same white pants, right? So, like you said it, and I want you to expand on that in the next segment. We've got about 30 seconds here, but I want you to expand on that. We're going to keep you on for one more segment here, and tell everybody what you told me yesterday. I thought that was a great bit of insight that most people that are watching football, they really don't know because they're not on the field. But your thoughts on that were really good, and we're going to come back here, folks, in just a few minutes and finish up our conversation with Doug Plank, 8 years in the NFL as a player, 12 years as a coach, one of the hardest hitters the league has ever seen. Folks, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today with one simple phone call and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. Call Genesis Gold Group, empowering faith-driven stewardship. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. That's 800-932-5517.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UpperCutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UpperCutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UpperCutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UpperCutChops.com or call 702-799-9935. That's 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or make your selection directly at UpperCutChops.com.
I'm your Ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus. Join me and Hall of Fame world champion and all-star celebrity guest for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms. Also, thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Hey, everybody. This is Barry Katz from the Industry Standard Podcast, and you're listening to the Sports Circus with Sal Tuzzolino.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal here with Long Beach Lenny, Colonel Bucky, and 8-year NFL veteran, hard-hitting safety Doug Plank. Played with the Chicago Bears and coached in different parts of the National Football League, the Arena League, and the college ranks. Hey, folks, this segment is brought to you by our good friend Don Horn and the Regenerative Wellness Fund, offering discounts and free procedures for athletes that served the NFL during an era when they really didn't make a bunch of money, about $23,000 a year. I mean, it's hardly anything in today's time, and frankly, they played because they loved the game, and that's really what it was. Anyway, the Regenerative Wellness Fund offers free and discounted treatments to hundreds of these athletes that can't afford medical like they have the plans today, and also to military vets. If you want to learn more about it, call 866-647-9405, 866-647-9405, or visit them at regenerativewellnessfund.org. Also, a big welcome to everybody listening in on our NBC Sports affiliates from coast to coast, as well as SB Nation right here in Las Vegas on Las Vegas Boulevard, KMZQ 670 The Score. That is, of course, our SB Nation affiliate, as well as everybody listening in on iHeartRadio from coast to coast and around the world, and our friends in Hawaii on Oceanic Time Warner Cable.
And Arkansas.
And Arkansas, yes, our friends listening on WHBQ over in the greater Little Rock area. Actually, that's a signal out of Memphis, but it goes a really long ways. And you know, Doug, that was Elvis's very first station. Did you know that?
That's amazing. That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I picked that station because, it's strategically located, and it covers 8 states in that area, but I'm a big Elvis fan, and actually Lenny is an Elvis impersonator. He sings like him. Lenny, give him a few.
Wise men say only fools rush in. There you go.
There you go. All right. What a big round of applause for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hey, Doug, I want to ask you if you could explain what you did about the white pants yesterday and at the rate in which that you played.
Well, let me just say this. At Ohio State, I had never played on artificial turf. And my first day, I managed to injure myself where I tore an ACL and MCL and cartilage. So I needed surgery, and I came back, and I was behind. I didn't realize that 4 guys that were going to go into the National Football League and play from 8 to 12 years. So primarily, I sat on the bench at Ohio State. The one thing I did do, I led
turn his volume up a little
tackles, and I would run down the field 20, 30 yards, and I would get in traffic, and then instead of looking around, because you're going to get blasted if you look around, I put my head down and started zeroing in on the ball carrier, almost like a cruise missile. And when you do that, and you bend over, and you're running full speed, suddenly whatever colored jersey you're playing against, all you can see is white pants, because most people wear white pants during these games. They have, whether you're a visitor or home team. So it's very difficult at the very end to try to pick out who the ball carrier is, because everybody has white pants on. Once you have your head down and you're only looking at 2 or 3 feet above the ground. So there were times during my career, I'm afraid to say it, I blasted into one of my own players. Coming up, Dan Hampton, Mike Singletary, just hit him right in the back. And it didn't work out very well. So, I tried to be as specific as I could, but it's amazing until you are actually on that field and you are in that incredible environment of competition and bigger people than you are, more physical, stronger, all those sort of things. Wow, the fear factor kicks in, and I tried to get up there as fast as I could, as low as I could, and try to hit somebody below the waist.
And you also told your teammates, something like, "I'm sorry, but if you're not going to make that tackle, please get out of the way," right?
I just told him, I go, you know what? Really, I only have a few seconds to get the guy on the ground. So you either get him on the ground or you get out of the way, because just know I'm coming. I'm going to be right behind you within seconds. So if you're not going to make the tackle, please get out of the way and just give me the opportunity.
Doug. So Doug, we have our producer here, Colonel Bucky, that is he is our resident huge Ohio State Buckeye aficionado and fan. So we wanted him to take the floor and ask you a few questions.
Yeah,
yes,
thanks.
Of course.
Thanks, Lenny. Of course. I didn't go to Ohio State, but I grew up there, and I've been an Ohio State fan my entire life. And I know the story about Woody Hayes and how his tenure ended after 25 years, but he had the national championships. And I've always defended him. I said, he's charismatic and he's upbeat. He was a great football coach. And since you played for him for all those years, you have the inside perspective. How was Woody Hayes? Did you learn a lot from him? Was he hands-on? Or what kind of guy was Woody Hayes in your time there?
Well, you know what? I really felt like he wanted to be something else. He wanted to be a teacher. I mean, every time he would get in front of the team, he would talk about history. He would go through centuries of wars and battles, and he was incredibly smart and intelligent, like I said, about history, and he loved his country incredibly well. I mean, but he was serious, and he was serious in terms of being physical. And he would shake you, he would hit you, he would punch you in the stomach. Now, it really didn't hurt. Come on. The guy couldn't hurt a football player that was lifting weights, doing sit-ups, 100 sit-ups, whatever the case might be. He slapped me a bunch of times. I mean, it was more for show than anything else.
Right.
But I admire him because, he strongly believed in graduating football players. Yeah. He did an incredible job before anybody else in terms of, graduating kids. And if they didn't graduate, he gave them opportunities to come back as graduate assistants, so they could get their undergraduate degree. So I give him a lot of credit. I think he cared for people, and sorry to see the way things turned out for him at the end.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me, because everybody remembers that meltdown on the sideline where he punched the player after he intercepted a pass, and that visual sticks with people. But there's so much more to Woody Hayes. And, I mean, come on. He was there for, 25 years and had a winning tradition. It was either Michigan or Ohio State every single year, it seemed, in the Big Ten back in those days.
You know what? It's amazing how many projectors. He used to love the throw projectors after his speeches. And he'd throw those things against chalkboards and walls and crash. And, just really, it got your attention. And, to me, I grew up in Pennsylvania, so I didn't really understand the Ohio State-Michigan thing until I got there. But, wow, it was an incredible, my first experience really to have some sort of a national rivalry, and between those two coaches, Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes, it was a great opportunity.
And we're speaking with Doug Plank, a former member of the Chicago Bears and the Ohio State Buckeyes. And of course, I wanted to ask you just one more question here. And you may have been there after Jack Tatum, but Jack Tatum, of course, was known for being one of the hardest hitters ever in the Ohio State program and maybe in the National Football League. Did you learn, or is that taught at Ohio State the way Jack Tatum hit?
You know what? For some reason, and to answer your question, Jack Tatum was leaving as I was coming in. So we were like two ships passing in the night. Right. I never played with Jack. He was a senior and then graduated. I came in as a freshman the next year. But they had him as the bar of excellence. Right. And there was one time I remember, it was my junior year, and I got put in at the end of the game, last 5 minutes or whatever. And my goal every time I got put in the game was to either try to knock myself out or knock somebody else out. And again, concussions weren't a bad thing at the time. They were just like inconveniences. That was like twisting your ankle, so it wasn't like you were going to lose brain cells. So I get in the game, and I see this fullback, and he's running right at me, so I run forward to him. Boom. We both go down, but I managed to kind of crawl off the field. He's knocked out. They come out with the cart, put him on a stretcher, take him off the field, and at least two guys, help me off the field. Now, I'm groggy, barely standing up. And I get to this line, and here's the one thing about football players that have gone. They're like rock stars. They're bigger than life. And why did I say that? Because I got in front of Woody Hayes, and he goes, Doug, that was one heck of a hit, but Jack Tatum could have done it better. Well, I knocked the guy out. I knocked his helmet off. Yeah. Now, and I was barely awake myself, and I'm thinking, you know what? It's true, because after I left, there were players behind me that said, Doug, they're telling stories about you now at Ohio State. I'm thinking, so there is a little bit of an embellishment, I think, on players, but certainly Jack Tatum was I don't say a legend, he certainly was a legend, and he was certainly a model for safety to try to imitate and try to hit as hard as he did. And I'm not embarrassed to tell you that a lot of times I used him as an example on trying to hit other players.
Right. So listen, Doug, we've got just a few minutes left in the segment. We're going to stretch it for just another minute and a half or so if we can. Tell me, what are you working on these days, and how could people find out about the projects you're involved in?
Well, I'm a really big believer in the team concept, and I think I'm so thankful for sports because the lessons I learned have carried over into my post-athletic career, basically business. When I first got out of being in the National Football League, I was a Burger King franchisee for 21 years. And it was great because you were part of a team. You got together all the time. I mean, there's something about getting in a huddle and talking to people and holding hands. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it really, really works both for sports and also in business because you're not in business by yourself. You're with other people. And so, what I've done here in the last 5 years, my 90-year-old mother lives with me. And, I've just started opening up my eyes to, the situation in our country with a lot of seniors needing help and assistance and all that sort of thing. So I'm working with some people right now in opening up assisted living facilities, not just here in Arizona, but across the country. And, I'm going to try to work real closely with a lot of other athletes, both college athletes, professional athletes, because, these guys, they need direction. They need some suggestions and help and some coordination, and hopefully I can do that and just pay back a little bit of what football's done for me.
So, Doug, how can people follow you? Do you have social media?
Yes, I do. I've got Facebook. I've got LinkedIn. I've got Twitter accounts. So please, if you reach out to me, I promise I will answer or get back with you just as soon as I can. And, it's amazing to me how many people, it truly is the situation. Your life is changed by, the people you meet and the books that you read. And, I don't do as much reading as I should, but I meet as many people as I possibly can. And there's no doubt in my mind, my life has changed because of the associations I've had over the years.
Okay. Hey, listen, Doug, I want to extend a big thank you for joining us today, and we're going to wrap this segment up right now. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Doug Plank, 8 years Chicago Bears, 12 years as a coach, a stellar human, and he's doing it for everybody. Make sure you look him up on social media. A wonderful guy, and we're going to certainly bring Doug back if he wants to come back with us.
Well, thank you, guys. I really appreciate being on the show.
All right. Our pleasure. Folks, we're going to be back here in just a few minutes with more havoc and mayhem as we continue the Sports Circus, so don't go anywhere. Be back in a few.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UppercutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UppercutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UppercutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UppercutChops.com or call 702-799-9935. That's 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or make your selection directly at UppercutChops.com.
I'm your Ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Hey, this is Tommy John, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
call us up, 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935, and you can participate with us because you can. All right, that right.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's a lot of mayhem going on, and we started talking about different things in golf. And Lenny, I want to get into something, a little bit of Olympic news here. Let's turn different direction completely, and let's get into the Olympics. We've got something cool coming up, don't we? And I mean coming up.
I know prior to that, though, Sal, we have something that's coming up, which was the World Series. What we have coming up.
Oh, all right. Well, let's do that one first. Let's do that one first. Then we'll talk about the Olympics.
Right. So anyway, what I'd had on the day that I was watching Fearless Bow, I ended up bumping into this incredibly dressed Dodger fan from like head to toe, decked out in Dodgers gear after they clinched themselves in the World Series. And this young lady was kind enough to be able to give me an interview. So I know that Colonel Buck there has that beautiful footage. If he could go ahead and roll that, it'd be great.
All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's get to that momentarily. As
hold on.
No. I didn't know he was going to do it. No. Okay, here we go.
Oh, so
nice. Hey, Panorama sounds good, just like SoCal. So we got a Valley girl in the house that grew up as a Dodger fan, she's been telling me. So what I wanted to ask you, Maria, how did you feel about this season, especially when the Dodgers were just going crazy with that enormous winning streak?
I felt great. Knew they were going to get to where they're at now and know they're getting to the World Series.
See, that's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. But then, all of a sudden, here comes somebody popping the balloon, the wind out of the sails of the boat for the Dodgers. How did you feel, Maria, when they just could not win a game?
It was frustrating, but knowing that they were coming back and they were going to do their thing, never lost faith.
See, that's the whole thing, Dodger fans. You guys don't lose faith. You guys stick together like a family outing at a barbecue. You know, it doesn't matter what's going on. You guys stick together, Dodger fans. So, what I wanted to ask now is, do you have a preference with any of these other teams? You have the Astros and you have the Yankees. Which one, if you have any preference that you want to play?
No preference. I have a lot of faith in the Dodgers, and I know they're taking it. Bring on any team.
Were you a little bit scared knowing that Clayton Kershaw had a reputation of blowing games in the playoffs this year? Did you have a little bit of doubt in your mind, even a little bit, with Kershaw possibly blowing up in the playoffs?
No doubt at all. It was just taking it one game at a time. But I had faith in Kershaw, had faith in the whole team because they've played as a team this year. So, I trusted them.
Very good. And I know that you're a new listener to the Sports Circus, and you've listened to myself and Sal Tuzzolino, but you told me that it was kind of funny there with Colonel Bucky, and he has a little bit of a problem with typing with two fingers here, and we call that, his chicken pecking, and you found that to be funny.
Absolutely, and I think we should now call him Mr. Peck.
Nice. Mr. Peck. Well, Colonel Bucky's a lot older than Sal and I, so we refer to him as an old pecker when he's over there pecking away, and it's just an endearing term, nothing less, nothing more than that. So I wanted to ask you, too, I know that you said that you're bilingual and you speak Spanish, and there are an enormous crowd of Dodger fans that speaks.
I don't know. Is that the way it ended?
I don't know. I don't know, folks. I put my mic on.
Yeah.
It's live, folks. Anything can happen.
Are you there, Lenny?
Yeah.
Is that the way it ended?
No, that's not the way it ended.
It could be the way it ended. But remember, Kershaw's rested.
So I want you to go ahead for the Spanish-speaking people just to tell them that you're happy that the Dodgers won and that they're going all the way.
Nos vamos a la Serie Mundial.
Very good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Long Beach Lenny for the Sports Circus and Sal Tuzzolino and Colonel Bucky. Just wanted to, real quick reminder here. Colonel Bucky, I know that you like to look at people on how our guests look. And our guest here, just look up on images on Google the name Maria Conchita Alonso, okay? Spanish actress, all right? So for the Sports Circus, want to thank Maria Gutierrez very much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Sal, back to you, and have a great show.
Okay, well, we will have a great show. That was Maria Gutierrez, correct?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, she was a great interview. I'll tell you, she told me that she used to root as a young girl for Fernando Valenzuela. She was very young, and that's when she began to be a Dodgers fan. And she looked at me very confidently when I was telling her about the Clayton Kershaw. That he kind of blows saves, and she just kind of raised her eyebrows. And she after we were done with the interview, she says, "Yeah," she says, it was really tough, because he did have that reputation, but she's sold out. She just feels that the Dodgers are just going to roll through everybody. It doesn't matter who it was.
It's like me interviewing a Cubs fan.
I can't believe you told her I'm much older than you. I'm the same age as Fernando Valenzuela and Steve Sachs.
Well, aren't they both in their 80s?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're 57, like me.
157. Perfect.
Unbelievable.
So Leonard, our loyal listener over from WLVL up in Niagara Falls, Leonard says after the Colonel Bucky comment, he says Pecker King should be the name.
Pecker King, especially since Plank had a Burger King franchise.
Right. So we'll stick with the whole King idea.
I can't believe it. I need a raise for the abuse.
Hey,
for the
I'm
abuse.
only reading. Come over here, read this.
Oh no!
Take your headphones off. Read it. It's not me.
I believe you.
No, because it's when you chicken peck.
Unbelievable.
You know what? For Christmas, Lenny, let's pitch in and get him typing lessons, like a regular. Let's do an online typing thing.
I don't know why it bothers you guys so much.
Because it's slow.
It's not
you
slow.
move at a glacial pace when you're doing it.
I do things methodically, and that's the way I like it.
Speaking of which,
you like to do it fast, and then you make too many mistakes.
I don't make a lot of mistakes.
You type 80 words a minute, but
88 words a minute.
77 of them are right.
Yeah, but remember, you type 3 words a minute. By the time I've already gone 25 minutes into the campaign, and you're still on your 3rd word.
0 mistakes.
Lenny, talk about the Olympics real quick.
Yeah, I was going to say the only way that we can get Bucky in a typing class is if it was like a Hooters school of typing.
No, we have something that is going to interest him here.
Yeah, we do. We have something definitely off-road right now. So, something for you, Bucky. This just in. Olympics are considering a couple of different, let's say, activities. I don't know if you'd call them sports. One of them is foosball, but the other one is pole dancing.
Pole dancing? Yes.
As a future Olympic event.
Giggity, 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 giggity.
He's speechless over here. The Colonel's
No, he's just giggity.
No,
what are you talking about?
It's worth one of those.
Yeah. Giggity, 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 giggity.
Pole dancing. That's good
boy,
stuff.
You boy, Bucky Quagmire.
For this moment, Colonel's like, you know how long I've waited for this moment.
I know. That's why when I mentioned it, I hit the bottom of the table.
Well, they're trying to get the ratings up. I mean, come on, face it.
Wait, listen, they're trying to get ratings up, and you're trying to keep yourself down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is I take it it's a Winter Olympic, or is it Summer Olympics?
I don't know. I think it ought to be in both.
Winter. What's the winter going to be? The ice pole or something?
Yeah,
like that?
it'll be out there on an ice rink.
Well,
I
it's either
guess.
that or it's the hot stick of the summertime.
Yeah, that one too.
I don't see how. I mean, that's kind of comical. It's like, what would be the criteria? There would have to be some type of a league. There'd have to be a league.
Well, hey, we had Chesty LaRue in here. We could have asked her.
Yeah, the roller hockey gal.
No, roller. That was a roller derby.
She was in the roller derby. I don't know if she was a pole dancer.
Right. That's probably Bucky's favorite name that has come onto the show so far.
Chesty LaRue.
I can still picture her across the room there.
Well, that's because she was poking you in the chest with her chesty.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. And that's from across the table, folks.
Yeah, we did a promotional shoot.
The promotional shoot went right onto his phone, and that's it. There's your promotional shoot from the phone to your bone, and that's the end of it.
Well, the last time I saw a pair of jugs that big, 2 hillbillies were blowing on them.
Yes, that is exactly it. All right. Hey, listen, folks, make sure you follow us in the next hour here. You can tune right back in with us. Switch over to thesportscircus.com and pull the streamer right there. It says Talk Stream Live. Just make sure you click on that. More madness and mayhem to come. We'll be talking more Olympics, more Chesty LaRue, more mayhem. Folks.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
My favorite one had to do with the Green Bay Packers. And I love the fact that they dealt off Ty Montgomery because of a blown assignment. Green Bay isn't Green Bay unless they have a good running game. Then they can win 10 Super Bowls. The fact is, you don't have a running game. You've got 70% passing, and that's not where Aaron Rodgers needs to be. He needs to be in a position where he's got a running game to offset the passing game and so forth. I like the move. Green Bay didn't have a running game anyway, so all they're doing is saying, we're going to get rid of you because you don't follow instructions.
Well, he made one of the most boneheaded plays I've ever seen. There's 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. They traded him on Tuesday.
They should have cut him on Sunday night.
He shouldn't have been on the plane back to Green Bay.
Right, they should have made him walk back to Green Bay.
No, it was a terrible play. Now, he's not a stupid guy. He went to Stanford.
Really?
He's not a dumb guy.
He's not a dumb guy, but he doesn't follow instructions.
He made a terrible play.
The fact is he didn't follow instructions. And you say he's not a dumb guy. His own agenda he put ahead of his team.
I agree.
Thus, he is a dumb guy. Right or wrong?
Wrong. He just got selfish. You're not going to convince me that a guy from Stanford's a dum-dum.
No!
This is Sidney Justin from the Miracles.
So you heard yesterday's show at Roy Firestone. Did you hear a little clip about him going into the office where Smokey was at? That was really good material, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really funny, man.
Yeah, and then you heard him.
I thought it was hilarious. It was cool, though. It was cool. Really cool story, man. I enjoyed listening to that.
Right, and then he gave a couple of bars. Can you give us a couple of more from Ooh Baby Baby, and let's see if you could do it better than Roy Firestone? Come on, man!
All right, you know what? Why not? I did you wrong. My heart went out to play, but in the game I lost you. What a price to pay. Hey, I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. How's that, man?
That's
Is that okay? Is that good enough?
That's incredible.
That's fantastic.
You know why? Because that's what you do. You're in the incredible business, Sid. That's awesome. Yes! Only on the Sports Circus. You're going to get sports. You get music.
Attention businesses of all sizes affected by COVID-19. The federal government has introduced the Employee Retention Credit. It's a new relief program that allows you to collect up to $26,000 per employee if your business was forced to close due to COVID-19 or you lost 20% or more of your sales. You may qualify for free financial relief. There's no limit to the amount you can file for, and you don't have to pay the money back. Call Park Settlement now. They'll explain to you how much you qualify for and how fast the funds can be in your business bank account. To find out if you qualify for the ERC program, call Park Settlement right now for details. There's no upfront cost to you, and you could receive up to $26,000 per employee. Call right now for details. 800-509-1238. 800-509-1238. 800-509-1238. That's 800-509-1238.